And this is JCTheSniper with part 2 of my Gerber Evo review. Also, this holds your hand in quite well with the little choil here and the finger flipper, which converts into a finger guard, identical to this one. Both have jimping on the back of the blade to help you grip it if you hold it in this manner. The Gerber, however, does not have the checkered thumb stud and checkered pivot point like the Columbia River does. So if you're going to hold your blade like this, Columbia River is better. That's just not grippy at all. Also, this anodized aluminum is very slick. If you sweat at all, this handle is slippery. My hands are just a little bit damp, a little bit sweaty right now, and this handle is slick. Not so with the Columbia River. That Zytel just is much more tractionable than the anodized aluminum. So Gerber takes a hit in ergonomics also. Just not quite as good in the traction arena and in the thickness of the knife. This just feels better in hand than the Gerber, even though that side profile is identical. Fit and finish, we've talked about already. Finish on the Gerber is good, but probably going to lose to the Columbia River just because it is coating rather than actual color and a blade. So there's stuff to wear off, and it has worn off a little bit. Durability also good for both blades, as we've talked about. Value, this is where Gerber's going to take a little bit of a hit, because Gerber has recently, within the last few years, raised the price of this knife. When I purchased this knife, I paid $30 for it. And when I purchased this knife, this past year, I paid $50 for it. So, at the time I bought this, cheaper. Now, Gerber, from the factory, is pricing this knife at $50. Also $50 for the Columbia River knife and tool. So, essentially, Gerber is saying, hey, our knives are as good as yours, because if we're going to pay $50 for this knife and $50 for this knife, we're going to expect equal quality from these two knives. Or at least I am. I don't know about you guys, but if I pay the same amount for two things, I'm going to assume that they're of equal quality. Maybe, a little bit different, but quality should be equal, and I do not believe that that is the case. I think this Gerber is not quite as good quality as this Columbia River. I think the Columbia River is more knife for the money than the Gerber. That being said, there are a couple of things I do like about this Gerber better than the Columbia River. The weight is a little bit lighter, and I'm going to say that's a good thing. 0.7 of an ounce, not a big deal, but, it's a little bit better. Also, the design of these handles, the Gerber is a flow-through, as you can see here, with holes through it, and if you drop this in the mud, you can spray that out fairly easily. You can clean anything out of there pretty easily. This knife is not a flow-through design. It does have cutouts in the handle, and they've done that to lighten it and maybe make it more aesthetically pleasing. But if you drop that in the mud and those get packed with mud, it's going to be a little bit tricky to get out of there. You're going to have to take a toothbrush to it to scrub out anything that got inside there. And I'm not such a big fan of that. I wish they'd have made it a little bit more solid, perhaps. I think that'd be a little bit better design. But, minor hit. Also, the clip on the Gerber, I think, is a little bit better than the clip on the Columbia River. Because the clip on this Gerber, as you can see there, extends to the very top. The loop of the clip is at the top of the blade. And they've done that by putting the screws down here and then taking the metal up from that and then bending it back down. So when you clip this in your pocket, that rides in your pocket as low as it possibly can. As little of that knife will show out of your pocket as is physically possible. This knife, they've mounted the clip at the very utmost edge of the blade. They've done a good job with that, but if you look at that, it sticks down and then it pops up. So when you clip that in your pocket, you're going to have about that much showing. You're going to have the top part of that knife. So, not quite as good. Again, a minor issue. I mean, is that going to hurt anything? No, probably not. But this is a little bit easier to conceal in your pocket, I think, than this Columbia River. Both of them got it wrong when it came to clip options. you shouldn't carry your knife like this. I prefer to carry it down so that I can draw my knife out of my pocket and already have it in position. Bam, I'm ready to rock and roll. Rather than drawing it from my pocket like this, having to flip it around and then deploy the knife. So, you know, I don't care for that. But neither knife gives me that option. Neither of them has a movable clip. You can't flip sides or put it anywhere else other than where it's mounted. So that's a little bit of a hit on both knives, but the Gerber is not superior in that manner. I would prefer they gave me the option to carry it down here, because that would be excellent. If the clip would mount down here, this knife might, you know, it might just be worth that $50. I might seriously consider this knife over this Columbia River knife and tool. So, running down the list here. Philosophy of use for both knives is the same. Tactical folder, utility knife. Size equal, 8.25 inches, almost 4-inch blade. Weight, Gerber wins a little bit in weight. It's about 0.7 lighter. Quality, Columbia River knife and tool wins. A little bit better quality pivot, better quality blade. I think better quality handle. So it's better quality. Not that this is not durable or of good quality, but I think this is a little bit better. Strength, Columbia River wins again. Stronger locker with that auto lock system than this, and stronger blade and handle. Durability, you know, carried this for 3 years. I know this durability is good. Haven't carried this one that long, 6 months about. So I can't say that this is as good durability from my experience, but all indications are that it are. From my friends who have them and have carried them, and my friends in the military who've carried them, this is by all accounts a very, very durable knife. So I'm going to say they're about tied on that. Ergonomics, Columbia River wins for traction, thickness of the carry, and for the fact that this just deploys a whole lot quicker than this Evo deploys. You see there I got stuck, but Evo doesn't deploy quite as easily, so this wins. Also, speed of deployment, Columbia River wins. Evo just doesn't deploy as quickly. Durability, both good. Fit and finish, a little bit better on this Columbia River. And value, our final category. With all that being said, $50 for each of these knives. As I've said, if I'm going to pay $50, I want equal knives, and they're just not. Not as good of a value with the Gerber. If you can pick this up for 20 bucks, go ahead, man. I mean, if you get this knife for $20, 20 or 30 bucks, that's a good deal. But 50 bucks for this, I'm going to go ahead and buy this. Or if I'm paying 30 for this, I'm going to go ahead and spend the extra 20 bucks and get a better knife. Get a better blade that I think will serve me better if I need to employ it in a tactical situation. So, Gerber Evo loses again on value. It just does. Just not a good value anymore. When I was 15 and it was 30 bucks, yeah, it was a good value because I didn't want to spend 50 bucks on a knife. But it just loses. So that's about all that's to be said for that. So this is JCTheSniper once again with a review of the Gerber Evo as compared to the Columbia River Knife and Tool M1603Z. JCTheSniper signing off.